Again, it's 36. I see now in the list that there's 44 files. I can see it right here. One more than we had in the beginning. We started with 43 files, and now we have 44 files because we split one file into two halves. So that's just as I expected it to be. And as soon as I kill this, we're going to start again going to the page program. Okay, so let's see if page gets stuck again. If page were to get stuck again, presumably it would get stuck at a later point that we hadn't gotten to. There could always be another file later on down the road that has the same problem. Then we'll have to fix that file also by splitting it into two halves and feeding the whole stuff through the page program again. Let's see what happens. Okay, so page is now generating .pag files. Again, the information about the staff size has been automatically fed into the page program, and I'm also giving it the instruction to assign measure numbers onto every measure, as I mentioned before, and you will see the utility of that later on. Anyway, let's just see if we go all the way through. So far so good. We're already past the stage where it crashed, so that worked out fine. And that's good. I intentionally let the process pause here because I want to see what happens with the page program. The page program has now exited. It came to the last file and then asked, more page layout, yes or no. That means that they have a normal parameter crashes, so it has in fact processed all files. And I've then already instructed it to exit, but it's now I'm hanging at the command prompt in DosBox. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I don't use DosBox for anything but running these 16-bit programs like Page or Score or the DOS editor, the old-fashioned DOS editor, or whatever. So as soon as I kill DOSBox now, I'll be back at CMD, the Windows 7 command prompt version, and the bash file will automatically continue. So I'll close this now. Some happy stuff that runs here. Oh, everything is automatically now run into the Score program, and Score applies an SM command on every file and then exits automatically. That was required because I need new trailer information assigned. Page assigns wrong trailer information that can't be recognized by edit Score, so I have to save all the page files in the Score program. Note, by the way, that I've already renamed all the .pag files to .mus files. I opened that up in Score, ran through them, and then exited. Now, Score lays has been automatically invoked, and it's making EPS files of all these .mus files. Again, the print size information has been automatically piped into the Score lays program. I didn't have to indicate any of that. That's all part of the process. I'm just going to wait for that to end. So the 36th page, 37th, 38, 39, and that's it. It's now the reason it hangs here is because I have not found a way of circumventing the final prompt of the Score lays program, which is print other page yes or no. If any of you have an idea as to how I can circumvent that final prompt in order to exit Score lays automatically, I'd be grateful for that, because then the process could continue automatically without my having to do anything else. In this particular case, I can just close the window and the bash file will continue. What's happening now is Edit Score is preparing these files for the creation of a MIDI file. This is another little program, an ancillary program. Anyway, this is this freeware called Score Mid that I use to make a MIDI file. As you can see, it creates MIDI files of the entire batch of files automatically. Okay, now I again pause at the end of this particular process. Again, this is in DosBox. You can see this up here in the window. Because this final screen tells me the track assignments. It's interesting. That's a good verification screen for me because I want to be sure that all of my staves in the score files have been assigned by one of these edit score scripts I ran earlier a P9 value, a parameter 9 value, which of course I will need to have a unique P9 value in order to be able to extract parts at the very end of this process, instrumental parts. It's possible that in some score batch, I don't know, there's a I don't know, a foghorn or something I hadn't encountered before, and for which my edit score script didn't have a provision. In that case, no P9 value would be assigned. And in this particular screen of score mid would tell me, for instance, track 9 is assigned to instrument with unassigned, with no ID or something like that. And then I would know that, aha, there is a staff there's an instrument that doesn't have a P9 value. And I would then be able to go back and see from this particular screen which staff, in fact, which instrument doesn't have a P9 value. Then I'll be able to update my edit score script accordingly and run this whole thing through again, so that I'll be sure that I have P9 values on each of these staves. In this particular case, I'm happy to see that my edit score script, in fact, did catch everything. Every staff has its own unique ID, so that's the purpose of this verification screen. I kill this screen and the process continues automatically. Several things are happening here. The batch file automatically launches a session of Microsoft Word. It also launches a session of Microsoft Excel, and it creates a PDF. You can see it right here. And then it throws the PDF up on screen, and there it is.